this beloved congregation. And for those of you who don't have an Anglican background, let me take just 1 minute and explain a little bit of what you're going to see. In the earliest church, leaders in congregations were called by the congregation. And as the church grew, it became apparent that pastors of congregations needed a pastor. And thus, one of the words which was used for pastor evolved to become that of an overseer of pastors, rather than just an overseer of a congregation. This turned out to be a very wise thing. I remember one point, a decade and a half ago, when our congregation we had, let's say, a significant problem with someone. And I didn't know what to do. And I called my bishop and said, "What do I do?" And he gave me very wise counsel. And I followed his counsel, and it worked. So that's the image of a bishop. Sometimes what you see in the movies or on TV is something else entirely. Just hold that image and you'll understand what a bishop is to us within the Anglican communion. It's a pastor to the pastors. There are a bunch of official duties that come with it, just as they do with any office. But for us who are pastors, it's a good thing, a mitzvot, a heart blessing that we have somebody that we can turn to for counsel and direction. And so our bishop is with us today. This is an Anglican congregation, as well as being a Messianic Jewish congregation. It's actually the first Messianic Anglican congregation in North America. There are 2 or 3 others in formation, and the very first Messianic Anglican congregation is Christ Church in Jerusalem, which many of us have been to, and it continues to be led by dear friends of ours. So what you're going to see today is our bishop officially assigning Rebecca oversight over this congregation. And at the moment that he does it, my oversight over this congregation stops. I come under her authority. To which she said, "Ooh, I can't wait." And just one other thing that I'll point out, something about how we're dressed. Because you see robes here that various of us are in. The collar that you see some folks wearing, there are various explanations of it, but the one which I find most meaningful is that's a slave's collar. And it means I'm a slave of Jesus Christ. I'm bound to him, and I do what he tells me to do willingly, not under oppression. The other thing that you'll see are 2 different kinds of stoles. There's a stole like this one, which designates that a person has been ordained a priest. This is not the same as a priest in the Old Testament. It means one who serves effectively, one who sacrifices to serve. And this actually represents less a symbol of authority than a yoke, like you put over an animal that pulls weights. So this is a symbol of a yoke. We have a deacon with us, if you look back there. And the stole in that case goes sideways across the shoulder. This literally is a modern symbol of a dish rag. Because a deacon is a word used for people who serve tables in early restaurants and in households. And they always had a rag over their shoulder that they could use to clean the table or a plate or whatever before it was presented. And so that is a symbol of being willing to serve people at their place of need. Whether at the table or if a family has gone hungry and food is being brought to them, that's what that symbol of the sideways stole is. Our bishop isn't wearing one of these today, but sometimes you'll see a pointy hat. that they wear, and you might wonder what that's about. That represents the tongues of flame that fell on the day of Pentecost, when all of those in the upper room were filled with the Holy Spirit. And then finally, you'll see that he has a crook in his hand. That's a symbol of a shepherd. And the way that was used, you remember the story of Jesus told about the shepherd going after the one that had wandered away from the 99. What often happened was those sheep would nibble their way into brambles, or sometimes over the edge of a cliff and land on a lower shelf. And that crook allowed the shepherd to fetch the sheep out of the bushes or off of the ledge where it had found itself, and then return it to the flock. Again, a wonderful symbol of the bishop. Would you please join me up here? And would the vestry please join me up here? My job today is to manage the microphone. Well, I'm momentarily to be under Rebecca's authority, so this is the job I've been assigned. Come on up here. If you all would open your worship booklet and stand together, please. We're all going to say this collect for purity together.